Good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. It's a great pleasure to be here as a part of India Choi, the VFX Summit. It's been the fifth, I think this is the fifth edition of the event, and it feels very nostalgic to come here again every year. And it's a very nice feeling. And today, the session that we are going to start on is on the academic side. It's national versus international M&D education. And what better than having eminent panelists like Mr. Mohit Soni, Mr. Basi Reddy, and Mr. Shrikant Sinha. I think each one of us, including myself, we have, of course, they are more senior than me, but I think we have spent about 2-3 decades of our life and career in M&D industry in various capacities. I've been into education for the last 25 years, and also part of the State Association of Karnataka, which is into the AVGC development. Mr. Mohit Soni, CEO of MESC, is the flag bearer for the, it's one of the biggest bodies in the country for skilling and certification and so many other things related to the media entertainment sector's growth. Mr. Basi Reddy, he's the doyen of this industry. He's been around for a really, really long time. Everybody knows him. He's very famous here in the state and other part of the country also. They're all also very good mentors to others, youngsters like us. Mr. Shrikant Sinha, Task, our own Telangana, so your state person who's heading the skilling for all the talent and the skilling initiatives that Telangana state offers in various industries, and suppose not only media entertainment, but all the other industries. So together, we are trying to throw light on certain aspects of the education sector, how it has started, how it has evolved over the years, and where are we standing now after, say, about 2.5-3 decades of media and entertainment education, which started way back in the mid-90s. So I would quickly probably, before we get on to the questions, I think we were asked to get one video of each one of us. I don't think we have any videos. No, we don't have any videos to play. So I take the liberty of playing just one video of a facility that we have created back in Bangalore. And here we do the skilling also, and here we have the post-production setup also. It's first of its kind in the country, though many others are expected to come. This is situated in Bangalore, and it's run by the government of Karnataka, but it's executed and taken care on a daily basis by ABAI, the Association for AVGC in Karnataka. And we'll have a small clip of this, post which we'll quickly get into the questions and answer session among us. Can I have the video, please? Thank you.
Hi, this is I'm a film director. This is the first time I'm visiting AVGC, Center of Excellence, and motion capture and scanning technology. For this film, Vikram, we are exploring this technology, and I heard that this is the biggest thing in entire Asia. It was a very nice experience, and thank you so much.
Hello, Namaste, this is Arjun Sarja. This is a very, very nice place with a lot of technicalities in one window.
உண்மையில ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு அபை சென்டருக்கு வந்ததுல இந்த ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி வந்து ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவலுக்கு போகுது அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இந்த அபை ஸ்டுடியோஸ்க்கு வரும்போது we can actually realize that
the biggest facility in our country also. So thank you for being part of India.
I was impressed with the facilities there, including the motion capture, facial capture, and the virtual production studios, and the photogrammetry setup. We look forward to working with Abhay.
In all probabilities, I'm sitting in the future in terms of how filmmaking and entertainment is going to reach all of you. A huge congratulations to the entire team here for building a facility so awesome.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ವಿಹಾನ್. We all should feel proud about this, that ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು.
Hi guys, my name is Prajay. I'm CTO at Merge XR. I've heard about Abhay a lot, especially for a project like ours which we are working on, and I would love to come here more for my other shoots.
Just a quick shout out to AVGC Center of Excellence in Bangalore. The whole team was amazing, very, very professional. They were very supportive. So I look forward to working with them again in the future.
I had the opportunity to shoot in Abhay, AVGC Center of Excellence. They have amazing facilities that will give the creative production a big support and boost. they have a finishing school program which can bring a big revolution to students, molding them into the personalities that they aspect. Abhay has become the thought leader, and I wish all success to this technological revolution. Thank you.
It's one solid center, a place where so many things could be achieved. It's a pleasure to see such a fountainhead of technology in one location. I wish you do more improvements and make India proud. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's the facility we had created where there is a post-production as well as a training, finishing school facility. Why I wanted to show that was that during the course of this discussion, towards the end, we could probably point out a few things about how these kind of facilities are important to build the academic structure in the country. So we have such distinguished guests with us on the dais. So I would like to start with Mr. Basi Reddy. Welcome to the panel. Thank you for being a part of this session. And I would like to start by asking you, what are the challenges that the national media entertainment education sector face? And how can we compete with the international education sector? Because today we are talking about national versus international education in the M&E space. So what are the challenges? Why can't we or can we offer the kind of facilities, or what are the challenges that we face, and how can we compete with the international education sector?
Thanks very much. Based on my experience, what I see is the students here who graduated and really good are willing to pay 50 lakhs, 30 lakhs in an international college. Whereas the same student will be struggling to pay 1.5 lakh while he's studying in India. And one of the main things is the parents don't think this field is good enough for their child to have a good life or a guaranteed life. They thought the IT is going to give them the guarantee. That's not here and there. I mean, it's ridiculous that we genetically so great, if you look at it thousands of years ago, our population genetically is very creative. I keep saying this for the last 20 years. And the other problem I see is the parents are not letting them getting into these things. Now, if you look at the amount of work which is available out there, Y2K, which we heard about when a lot of you youngsters, when they were there, you may have heard about Y2K. It's nothing in front of this particular creative engineering, what I call it. Creative engineering is the greatest opportunity we have for the India. And unfortunately, we have policies from both state government as well as central government. But there is not much effort goes into it. Like we were discussing last time, we had a meeting after the India Joy. And then we had a roundtable conversation. After that, nothing moves forward. It's a lack of interest even from the governments to promote our talent is what I see a problem. And there, if they pay 30 lakhs, if they pay 30 lakhs here, I can get the best of the best teachers to train the students. The problem is it's a catch-22. I can't pay them that much. Students doesn't want to pay me that much. And then we struggle in finding the qualified, talented people because they are absorbed by the industry, as there is a serious shortage of very creatively talented people. When we talked about Unreal and all this, those guys don't want to come into the teaching environment. They're making decent money somewhere else. We cannot afford to pay what they would need. I mean, Mohit Garu has been trying, he has done such an excellent job trying to get the best of the best in the country for free of cost. He represents the government, he can call somebody, he is at that position of Media Entertainment Skill Council, being the CEO. He's been able to bring the best of the best, but that's one workshop. So I was also asking him once, I didn't go back and check it, whether they are all saved somewhere on the website so that we can repeatedly show it to the students for every batch, because every one of them you bring in, they are the best of the best. So I thank you very much for that. But as I say, if they can pay good money here, we can have good colleges also. And studying is not just at the college. The student needs to go home and practice and practice and practice. If you don't practice, you will not excel. This is one specific field you don't need to rectify. You need to just improve your skills. So that's the major problem is parents are not encouraging. Governments are not doing as much as they should. They have policies, yes, but how about promoting? Because a lot of parents don't think this is a field they want their children to be in, whereas they are absolutely 100% wrong, as there is no field in this world which does not require graphical presentation. You want to sell rice, you want to sell haircut, you want to sell clothes, everything requires graphical presentation. So the opportunities are huge, and if any students are here, I would strongly recommend go for further education in masters and all that stuff too.
Well said, sir. We'll come back to the government policies a little later in my second round. Coming to Mr. Shrikant Sinha, welcome, sir, to the panel. Thank you for being a part of this wonderful event and the panel. Since its inception, TASK has taken the mandate of skilling the youth of the state and making them more employable. So what are your strategies for skilling and employability in the M&D sector? And your thoughts on today's youth looking towards international options?
Thanks, that's a wonderful question. And thank you very much, Twaga and India Joy, for providing me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts. I think the reason TASK was created when the state got bifurcated was because they did a survey only to find that less than 10% local youth were employed. And people who were employed were not up to the expectations of the industry. Now, when you talk about the animation, video, VFX and gaming industry, etc., it was further lesser. Of course, if you look at it, how technology has changed today, I think the basic thing that people need to understand, and unfortunately the reality is, I sometimes agree with Basi Garu also, where our youth themselves want to jump on the IT bandwagon only, right? Believe me, over there we are not producing anything more than glorified clerks. I'm sorry for using this statement, but that's what we are doing. We are not producing people. You go to a college and ask them how many programs a BTech graduate has written, 3 to 5. IIT, 10 programs. Can they write code? Can they become expert programmers? They cannot, right? But our thing is, parents, as Basi Garu rightly said, they push. No, you have to become an engineer. After engineer, you have to go abroad. And that's where the whole thing happens. And then what? Come back and start selling insurance or banking facilities, right? So I think it's important for us to identify, and we come from a very simple standpoint. If you can't stand the sight of blood, should you become a doctor or a medical professional, right? It's as simple as that. And here you have people, if you look at, as he rightly said, there's so much of talent in India. Look at the rangolis that our women make. Absolutely. They don't have any idea of proportions, geometry, nothing, but the kind of things they can create. And that is our native talent. If we are able to groom that, if we are able to move it in the right direction, I think we can move mountains. Problem is that all of us are just busy learning syntax, or today it is Unreal 4.5, tomorrow it's 5.3, and that's what happens. We forget focusing on the basics. That is where the biggest problem is. So you have a lot of institutions which are of repute, and there are a whole lot of fly-by-night operators who come teach syntax, teach you how to do a particular thing, Those are not serious courses. People who want to be serious in this have to join the right kind of institutions, invest their time, money, efforts, and that is where today it is important for us to understand. And he's right. Today, if you look at it, and mark my words, normally, when I look at the crystal ball and say, okay, this is the future of it, I think everywhere AI is going to come in, correct? Which will, and where AI should come in places where your speed of doing things, productivity gets enhanced, all these various things. And technology is going to come into everything. So let us take it for granted. But would you require programmers in the future? Right? If there are any students over here, can I see a show of hands if there are any students? No students here? Oh, sorry, then I'm talking to the wrong audience. But yes, the fact remains.
How many of you are students?
How many students? Okay, so I was speaking too fast. I'll speak slow. Right? No, so my point is, instead of ending up in a service industry, do something creative. Till the time our friend Pawan launched a rocket, I don't know how many of you are aware, but this is a startup called Skyroot, which is incubated very close by here in Gachibowli at T-Hub, right? He launched the first private rocket. He thought differently. He left ISRO and started his own organization. We also need to think different. Our youth should stop following the herd mentality. How many of you have seen Three Idiots? Can I see a show of hands? Three Idiots. Okay, at least these many people are awake and listening. Right? So, I think today it's important for us to focus on basics. Look at what your skills are good at, right? Follow your dream, follow your path. Today we had, Senthil Garu and all these people in the inaugural session, right? Even if you look at Vivek Devarakonda and all these people, Vijay Devarakonda, sorry, all these people had beginnings which are, like us itself when we started. When we left college, we were clueless. In fact, today at least you are having enough sessions like this which will tell you what are the various career options, which one should you choose, how you should move in that direction. And that is what is important. So my humble submission to the youth is that please look at various options. To educators, please encourage your students to move into creative fields. And of course, you're absolutely right. I think it's important for us to reach out to the parents and ensure that we reach out to all the districts so that we are able to help these people understand what are the career options in media and entertainment industry itself, and look at the courses. There are government departments, like we are about to announce a partnership with Media and Entertainment Civil Council. We ourselves are discussing about a tie-up, and we are also announcing a tie-up with Twaga very soon. So our main focus is how do you reach out? And we will work with institutions. So we have about 720 colleges across Telangana. We are already working with an organization called Designer Class, which is more into the jewelry design and all those kind of things. But I think what we will also add to that portfolio is programs on animation, gaming, etc. And that's what our strategy is. Second is, we'll work with organizations which are setting up over here. As morning the Honorable Principal Secretary said, 1.6 million square feet of space is coming up. It's a 25 to 30 story building, which will be ready by the end of 24 or first quarter 25. That will require a lot of skilled manpower. So our strategy is work with those organizations, co-create a curriculum. I may not have the expertise on that. I would depend on people like the Media and Entertainment Council, on Basi Garu, on Rajiv, on Rajat Ojha, etc., Party Night, all those people, we'll look at them and leverage their expertise, including the organization's expertise to train people who are productive right from day one. So basically, that will be our strategy for ensuring more and more people coming into this sector and taking it forward. I'll pause now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Just to quickly add to what you were saying about reaching the root level, we have tried to kind of bridge the gap by reaching out to all the fine art colleges in Karnataka, because as you rightly said, that there are a lot of talent available in the grassroots level. So we identify these fine art colleges, tier 2, tier 3 cities, who don't have any exposure to technology, and they'll be very good painters or clay sculptors. We identify such colleges and set up the hardware, software, and handhold them for 3 years, and then place them in studios across the state.
That's a brilliant model.
That's the project that we have started, and out of the 100 odd colleges, we have converted about 30 plus already in getting this center. So I think if it's implemented on a bigger level, we'll have more of this more talented artists coming out and contribute to the skilled force of the country.
Absolutely. Just to add to that point, which is brilliant, we have so many tribal youth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They have the native skills. Let's leverage on that native skills. And probably we'll have some of the best animators, designers, and so on and so forth.
We will come back to this again, as I mentioned to Mr. Basi Reddy also, that about the government's role and how we can try to incorporate this into our policies, or how to go to the market with their support, specifically on the skilling education side. That is the second part, round 2 of the discussion. Coming back to Mr. Mohit Soni. MSc, being committed to advancing skilling in the media entertainment industry, aims to create a robust and vibrant ecosystem of quality vocational education in the M&D sector for development. So what has been the response to your initiatives? Because you have been this body which has come and taken over the entire country. I myself know how it started, and today to what level it has come to, all under the leadership of your leadership. How did it grow? How was the response, and what are your thoughts on this growth and how it has evolved over the years since the time you have taken over and running this? And now today, when we talk about media entertainment in the country, anything to do with skilling or education in the country on media entertainment, MESC is the buzzword. Everybody talks about MESC. Are you tied it up in MESC? Have you met Mr. Mohit Soni ji? Do you know MESC, what it does? So how did you build this? Because that is the awareness that educational institutions have been trying to get for years. You have been an educationist too, before entering into this. So I am also being an educationist for the last 3 decades. I would want to know, how did you build this brand MESC so fast, and what were your challenges in it?
So first of all, thank you Srini, Basi Saab and Shrikant ji for so valuable words. I think they mean a lot for me. See, if you look into the scenario, Srini, particularly a country like India, which has the largest population in the world. You know, the population of our state is the population of a country. So when you talk about building up a skilling ecosystem or an education ecosystem, it has to be divided into various parts of a pyramid. And we have to understand that when we are comparing the education system in India and the education system abroad, ideally there is no comparison. You know why I'm saying that? In our sector, the M&E sector, I think one big area which I felt is the missing pie is that we have been always talking about employability. And this sector is not an employment sector. You know, this sector looks forward for people who can be employed and can be retained. But ask any studio, the biggest challenge today is hiring the right resources. And retaining those resources is much bigger problem. So when we at MESC started our journey, we identified few gap areas. We tried to understand where are the challenges both in the education front as well as in the industry front. And trust me, even till date today, when we are being talked about, as you mentioned, and mentioned about a part of a skilling eco space, what we believe is we have not even covered 1% of the journey of what we would have. Why I'm saying that is because even today, we have not been able to establish that reputation of an institutional system in the country, which we believe is popular in West. You know, like Basi Saab said, people pay 50 lakh rupees for going to Canada or US or UK. My take on it, Basi Saab, is slightly different. My take on it is that there are institutions in India which charge 30 lakh, 50 lakh, 70 lakh rupees also. And people are paying for it, you know. While if you talk about Western countries, 90% of the work is getting done in India today, which means that we are the most powerful crop in the world, you know, and we can produce whatever people can imagine and think of. So it's no more a question of quality, it's a question of quantity. So after doing 90% of the work of the world, we are 1% of the global market. So if we have to become 3% of the global market, which means that typically we have to at least increase or multiply our present workforce by 5. Or maybe the least by 10, to reach to that level. So I feel what MESC is now looking forward to is one side, build up a strong bottom pyramid by bringing in government initiatives, where government funds in those programs where people are aspiring to be. Then there has to be a kind of a bottom up of the value chain, which has to be created by vocational training institutions. And typically institutions at that level like Arena, MAC, Framebox, Zika, Reliance, you name an institution, typically they are working on that pyramid structure. The third pyramid is the pyramid where the universities have to play a big role. The colleges have to come in, the universities have to come in and offer something which can be much more a integral component of an industry plus an academia built together with a long-term duration program having apprenticeship embedded in the curriculum. And the fourth big pie is that the startup model has to be more ignited. People like Task, Abhay, Basi Saab, everybody. And I feel startups have to be ignited, they have to be supported, they have to be backed, and we have to create something which can be a class apart by bringing international trainers. So like Basi Saab said, it's not one workshop. It has to be a constant engagement to build the workforce and not just groom the workforce, but also groom the trainers. And the fifth one is basically where you support these people with an investment opportunities. I think that's where the government machinery is actively involved, and AVGC policy is a big milestone in that. I'm sure over the next 2 years, once the AVGC is implemented across the states, which various states have been putting up, you will see a lot of traction coming in. And I think there has to be a more trust now between industry and the academia. So I think FICCI's step of taking the leap event forward, which they're holding in sometime in November, is a step to integrate industry and academia. And I think these kind of the events now needs to go up, where you bring together a platform where industry can speak to academia and academia can be taught on what industry depends upon. So I think that model is something which is going to be the backbone for our economy to look at in the longer run. But as you said, MESC is a long way to go in, and with all of your blessings and friends coming together and supporting, I think this initiative will certainly try to bridge more between what gap is at present. Thank you.
Thanks, Mohit. Well spoken. I think he summed up the entire thing. Huh? So, to add to his point also, again, I'm sorry, going back to what we are trying to do, we have something called the Finishing School back in Bangalore, with the help of the government we have set up, and exactly does the same thing or tries to do the same thing, bridging the academia industry divide. And for that also we have tied up with MESC to offer very high-end courses, which is to make the students job ready moment they do this 3, 6, 8 months program with us. So be it skilling at the root level, or as I know that they're also into training people on the basics also, and also on the advanced we have tied up now. So it's like we're trying to cover an entire gamut of students, right from the basic to the most advanced level. And I think the coming few years with the policies and with the governments taking interest in this sector, as he rightly said, after doing 90% of the work of the West, we are still 1% of the global market. So you can imagine the kind of potential that the sector has. And skilling is very, very important. Getting the skilled workforce is very, very important. So coming back to the second round of our discussion is purely, I don't need the reference now, it's purely about the government role and the government initiatives. And some of the state governments, including Karnataka, Telangana, have already launched their policies. And states like Tamil Nadu, Orissa, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, so many, and everybody has come up now, everybody is woken up now, and everybody is launching their own state policies. We ourselves have been approached by a lot of states to help them in framing the policy, because we were the first to come out way back in 2012. So when it comes to policy, what do you think are the loopholes? This is the question is for all the three of us, all the four of us. In fact, I will not be answering, but all the three of you will answer. With the shortage of time, so we'll have the same question. What are the loopholes, challenges, and opportunities for a government to frame a policy? What are the scope for changes in the existing policy of the state? And what do you think should be the way forward for skilling and education from the schooling point of view, the college, the engineering, the polytechnic, across domains, do you think M&D's courses can be introduced in these kind of domains? And how and where should government come in to promote these courses? Because a small example I would like to give is that I've been running an institution for the last 27 years now. It's an education institution on animation and visual effects. And even today, my students struggle to get a bus pass because the animation course is not recognized by the government to issue a bus pass. Okay, so this is just 3 days back story. Both pehle ki baat nahi bol raha. Just 3 days back, some of my students were denied a bus pass because animation doesn't figure in a regular academic structure of a state's curriculum. I think this is a very serious issue. It might sound very small, bus pass might be a small issue, but for many it is the daily commutation way, a way of commuting to their workplace or to their institution. So how do we solve such issues? I mean, we are talking about bigger issues like, curriculum in schools, getting them young, bringing them in college, polytechnics. The basic level is that the awareness is not there among the people, be it the people or be it the government or be it the system, that animation AVG sector is the biggest growth sector in our country today, with gaming alone expecting about 40% annual growth, according to our Modi ji's statement also, which he made. Only gaming is about 40% growth. And still today, about 7.5 lakh students per annum go abroad to study, and about 1.3 million students are right now studying abroad. So how do we hold back our students? How do we give them a better... I know the question is very long, but if you can split it among yourself and answer this.
Okay, so Srini, nice question and long question. Short answers we should give. I think, Srini, all of us have been in this industry for almost 2 decades now, or maybe more than that. Yeah. I remember my old school days, okay, when I started in this industry, people talked about a workforce requirement of 65,000. Today, our skill gap report, which is going to be announced very soon, is talking about a workforce requirement of 65 lakh. So I love this question when every time comes in that how, and how we can fill this gap. I see no reason we can fill this gap. Second, I don't think animation students need a bus pass. They are the ones who travel in the cars after completing the course. So I see that there's no reason for them to struggle for a bus pass.
No. But there are. I mean, there are a lot of students who travel by bus daily.
Okay,
bus or metro,
so
whatever.
let me tell you one small thing. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, Srini, starting early, starting at a nascent stage is one big area which we have missed out. And we all have to agree around it, We have been there in the sector, we know where we have started and where we are today. There's no reason that we could not have done something. We have, maybe, because there was a lot of effort and hard work required to do that, we have not done it still. I think getting into the schooling system is the key. The moment you are getting into the schooling system and hence the fine arts teacher to become storyboard artist and storyboard artist to become a texture artist or a modeler or an animator is a big chunk. I think that's where we feel we have missed out, and I think all of us should now put all our efforts together to gun into the schooling system. I think CBSE has opened the doors for us and we are all very aware about it. We recently did a lot of teacher training program. Around 43,000 teachers were trained. 75,000 teachers are getting trained in December. But now if I have to run this program in 25,000 schools in the country, tell me how will we run it? I have no clue. Apart from doing it online, or taking help from all partners. Yeah. So I think what we really need to now look at is that getting all our students start imparting the training in the schooling system. See, today we run a network of around 1,75,000 students getting trained in our vocational space. Another 10,000 from higher education. And maybe 14,000 schools are already offering training in M&E workspace. So if 50% of the students who are studying in our vocational training space can impart one day of going to the nearest school and start training, I think we will make a phenomenal difference there. That awareness needs to be generated. The second big point is about the opportunities. I think opportunities are ample here. Only thing is how far we could dig it out. And over the period of time, you must have seen people like Rajiv Chilaka, Mark, Mike, all these people have really picked up because they've been focusing on IP creation. Recently, Munjal's, the series is top 3 on the Netflix. I think opportunities are ample. All we have to see is how we can create it and showcase them and excite them. But honestly, if you ask me, the answer is catch them in the schooling system and then groom them up from the layer of schools to wherever you want to take them, to higher education or to apprenticeship or to the industry, and things will be resolved. If we do this exercise for the next 2 years, we will not be deficient of our workforce, but we would have grown not just 3%, but maybe 5% of the global market, which we want to catch up on. That's my answer to this.
Fantastic. Sir.
Srinivas, as you said, it's a very long question, but I'll cut it into a couple of pieces. When we started with the game policy with the previous government, Congress, and then later on TRS government image policy, which we came in, I've been consistently asking the government, train our kids in the village level from 8th grade onwards. If you go to the village, you have to have, then they said, we don't have teachers. Then I says, yeah, they don't drop from the sky. You have to train them. That's where Media Entertainment Skill Council can come in handy and train the teachers. One teacher, like PE teacher we used to have, PT teacher we used to have, so especially trained. He teaches something else, but he's also a PE, he makes a little bit extra money. So let them have this. And I can find myself a bunch of probably investors to invest in their village for the systems if they so desire. I know MESC was working very hard for the software. Did we get anywhere on that? You can answer. Very soon, okay. So for the training schools, that software to be free, especially the Adobe and Autodesk and all that stuff. So they have some there, but not the whole thing. So he has been trying for several years, twisting their arms, whatever they can. So maybe Adani should buy it and then, and give it for free. So, but anyway, so having said that, I think training the kids at the elementary level, middle class, upper middle class is very important, because then their parents can see whether they have the talent, the skill or not. They themselves will be amazed when they look at their kids, what kind of work they're doing at 8th, 9th, 10th grades and all that stuff. So then they can understand that, hey, my kid can succeed in this particular field. So, I mean, I was, when the first policy came in, I'll give you another example. Jayesh met me, Secretary Garu, and he said, Reddy Garu, I'm disappointed. And then I says, wow, what happened? Then I says, I went to 3 big companies, all multinationals, in Hyderabad. Last week I toured. We have only 30% of the people from Telangana working over there, rest are from different states. And I said, that is the status. That is the status we have. The other thing is, media entertainment, a lot of parents think it is only media and entertainment. This is going to be the medium for your training also. Virtual reality comes from the media entertainment. The airplane engine will be fixed in a virtual reality environment. Interactive training classes, courses. Just imagine how many subjects are there and how many hours of each subject needs to be converted into a graphical, interactive presentation. Billions with a B of hours of work. To produce that, you need hundreds of billions of hours to produce that. So I think MEAC has a concentration on developing the entrepreneurial. They can take one class subject, they can create that, and they can put it online. Artificial intelligence is going to help that nowadays. I mean, of course, there are copyright issues will be there and all that stuff. I think they're drawing up today. The great doyen of our industry, Biren Garu, is here with a golf cap in the front. He's from the Technicolor, and he was showing what Biden is doing and what our PM of Sunak is trying to do, because they are all confused state. They literally are in a confusion stage. And the other great development, which is also in a confusion stage, is quantum computing. When the quantum computing comes in, it's totally a different picture. It's totally, sky is the limit. So these two are being struggled, and then they're trying to see how they can bring it in and make it as a policy. But I strongly recommend governments needs to get involved more seriously, and people like Shrikant Garu should recommend our KTR Garu, who is a very dynamic personality, to come out and say, hey, parents, this is an excellent field. I'm building 1.6 million square feet of building. So if we can say that, trust me, we will be overflowing with students. That's my personal opinion.
I think this is a wonderful message to all the, probably not only the minister of this state, but the minister of every state, at least to make a statement that AVGC sector is the sector to be in, and please put your children into this. This is the sunrise sector of our country. Sir.
So if I look at it, every school had an art teacher, right? There used to be an art session over there, right? Which we used to, as children, we used to look at free period, right? Everyone used to think that. No one used to think that, look, you could also make a career in it. And that's where, as part of the national committee itself, where Mohit, myself, you, all, Birenji is there, everyone is there, part of it, what we have said is, the MECAT exam should be run after the 6th class itself, right? And people who are interested, who are there in the creative field, should take a direction over there. Again, coming to the, Three Idiots example, why do you have to finish 4 years of engineering only to realize that, look, I don't want to do programming. Gaming is what I'm interested in. So definitely we have to catch them young, first thing. But I'm not saying that tomorrow these people will start doing roto making or they'll become, animators and things like that. No, that'll not happen. But let's keep on giving them inputs till they become of the age where they can decide what they want to do. I think that's point number one. Point number two is, if we look at our education system, thanks to the NEP, etc., things are changing. And as he rightly said, schools have already adopted it, CBSE, etc. It's important for the colleges and the education system, higher education institutions also to realize. See, there are two things we need to realize. For good music, you need musicians, but you also need the Bachs and Beethovens, right, to create the music piece, which are the researchers. Today, we don't have any research in our country itself. So who are the people who are going to be the leading lights of the future? I think we need to spend time and efforts and energy on research also, right? Third thing is, best option is embed this program into the college curriculum itself. NEP says internship, apprenticeship is a must. Let's do it. Instead of these people just going and attending some interviews and then you realize that, look, I'll spend 6 months training him. Let me get the job done from someone from outside, right? It is better to have these people doing internships in the studios. And that's my humble submission to the industry, is that please work with the governments, provide internship opportunities to the students so that they can actually see what it is. Today, what is happening in internship, I'm sorry to say, is that they send you out to the market, do a market study, come back with some survey questions. No. Let them actually touch, feel the equipment itself. Right? So that's important. And Basi Garu, you're absolutely right. The amount of things that can be done through AR, VR, and how things are moving now, and which is phenomenal. Today you are seeing us sitting over here. Tomorrow it could be completely virtual. You could have one hologram, right? So the thing is that whatever you used to see on a screen could come right in 3D in front of you. Drones are actually doing it, right? So a 3-dimensional thing, and now a 4th-dimensional thing is also coming up. And we have to prepare students for that. Quantum computing is just one of the things. In fact, the funniest thing is GPUs, etc., were created for animation, visual effects, gaming. Where are they used now? For churning out ChatGPT and other generative AI models, right? So technology is also moving towards that side. We ourselves, for training people in the pharma industry, where we can't put in a reactor, right, or a production plant for production technician, we are using VR headsets, and we are skilling the people using that. And these people are 8th class, 10th class, 12th class, right? So Telangana is having the largest pharma cluster coming up over here, 19,000 acres. So these are the people who have given that land for that. So government has taken the onus of skilling them and providing them jobs, right? And that's where this technology is being used. So if it can be used for this thing, it can be used for everything. And that's the potential of the visual effects industry itself. We have to realize that. Sooner we realize it, better it would be. Otherwise, it will be going back to the first game I wrote was in 1981 as a school student on my HP 96 calculator, which was motion of a projectile, right? And putting an ampersand over there, saying that's the tank, and a star flying in the sky, right? Moving there, pixel by pixel, falling over there. So we decide whether we want to become dinosaurs or we want to change our education system. Industry has to be a partner. It cannot be, and one thing as educators, we also do a mistake. I come to you, I'll say, please come to my college for hiring. Correct? That's all that I am interested in as an educational institution. I think we need to change our policy also and ensure that when any industry comes, we need to see, apart from hiring, what else can they do to create and promote the ecosystem itself. Sorry, slightly
No, so
longish.
wonderful, wonderful. My question was such a long one, so I expected a long answer. Mohitji, you would like to add
So
something?
I just want to request one small thing. I think Shrikant ji, Basi Saab, Srini, and our leader, Viren sir is here. I think what we really need to now look at is, my view is that the way we have popularized AVGC policy across the country, I think we need to popularize new education policy. I think every institution should let the students read it, or at least give them a synopsis of what is new education policy. I think most of the people are hardly aware about it. That's one. Second, I feel the biggest, I should not say because it's from MESC, but the biggest game changer for our ecosystem could be MeCAT. I think the moment the candidate starts appearing for MeCAT and the institution starts promoting it, we will know what to give to the student and the student would know what to pick from. I think these are the two things which I really want we should emphasize upon, and I want to also make everyone aware that we are recently working with AICT after CBSE, and with help of all of the panel members here and Birenji, Ashish sir, everybody, we are launching 8 diploma and advanced diploma programs with AICT very soon. So hopefully we will announce them, and there will be 10,000 engineering colleges who will thereafter run the media and entertainment programs in various formats. So I think there will be a great stand for our sector to look at. And thank you everyone.
So that's a wonderful news to hear, because we are talking about catching them young at schools. We're talking about introducing animation courses in engineering colleges and polytechnics. I mean, you have the vocational training centers, you have colleges, universities. I don't think anybody has to go out of India. I think our country is the best place to study, and with such kind of strong art foundation that we have in our country, and the kind of training infrastructure that we have, and the states and the central coming out with active policies, I think this is the place to be. So I would advise all the students who are thinking about creating a career by going abroad. I think when the whole world is coming to India to get the job done, why are we going abroad to study? That means the talent lies here. So I think we need to keep that in mind. And thank you, gentlemen. I think the time's up. About 10 minutes back, it's like flashing time's up. So I think we need to close, but we can take probably 1 or 2 questions if it's okay with the...
Srinu, just 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to just differ a little bit. The reason is they should go abroad and learn with the best teachers and come back and start a company here.
Okay, fine. Yeah, taken. Point taken. Yes, that also makes sense. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Hello. First of all, thank you very much for wonderful information and very kind and motivating word for everyone. I'm Rajiv, I'm from Arena, and I'm a teacher. So like I heard about that MCAT, and that can be a game changer, but how that particular exam, that particular brand can be made popular among the students, among the community. Unless until it is not popular, unless until it is not reaching out to the student, nothing will change. It will remain the same word.
Okay, so I think you are the one who has to make it reach, first of all. That lies on your shoulder. We have created it, now it's up to you to make it reach. Second, we are aiming for, okay, don't record me here. We are aiming for Guinness World Record of conducting MECAT exam with a minimum of 2 lakh people taking it at a single time in a single place at a single day. I think if that happens, we will create history for the country. And that I feel should be good enough for us to have confidence on it. And industry should be confident that we could do something which can really be in massive numbers. And the students should be confident that we would be able to give them a report which can give them a pathway entry to both vocational as well as formal education space.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And since you said you're from Arena, even Arena has the MECAT test if you are aware of it. So even they are tied up with MASC. So MECAT is in your hands as a teacher to reach out to your students. And I think everybody knows about MECAT, right? Would like to speak one line about that?
So MECAT is primarily a media entertainment creative aptitude test. And trust me, I have applied and appeared for it more than 11 times now. I request all of you to just go on Google, type MECAT. We never wanted it to be like a cat, but we thought it could be better than cat. So I think, appear for it. It's a creative aptitude test. It will give you a clear direction as to which of the subsectors which you should pick in. And the report, to my knowledge, is around 80-85% accurate, which as per the psychometric test nature is very high because those reports are 50 to 60% accurate. My only obligation or request here to all of you is primarily to see that you could make it reach to every person who's aspiring to be in this industry. We have created 2 versions of it. One is MECAT and the other one is MECAT Junior. So MECAT Junior is roped in the schooling system and MECAT is for students who are class 10th and onwards. So appear for it and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Apart from that, anybody wanting to prepare for this sector, there are portals like Creative Warriors where there are free programs by all the stalwarts of the industry. You can go through with those courses and learn and then appear for MECAT.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time, and thanks to India Joy, VFX Summit, and the organizers, and Telangana government and the department for giving us an opportunity. I think you had a very good session, focusing on the national versus international media education. I think we'll close this in case there are no questions. Any more questions up? Any more questions? No, I think we are done. So thank you so much, and have a nice day. Thank you.